bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, what's good? Happy Monday. Good afternoon, and welcome. Happy Halloween week. It is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, the 100.7 The Score mobile app, and yours on television, Fox 34 News Now. However, wherever you're joining us from, we are glad that you've chosen to make us part of your Monday afternoon alongside one and only George Christopher Snead. I'm Chois Woodman. Clint Scott's back across the way taking care of us. You can also hit us up if you'd like to. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, whatever you got, pour it in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app, which you can carry anywhere with you, even listening out in Maggoty Run, West Virginia. Ayo Sneeder.
What's up? What it do? Maggoty, Maggoty, Maggoty.
Okay, then. We are here on a Monday. You a big Halloween guy?
Not as much as I used to be. Not the kids are all out of that. I'm out of that division. I'm in the grandpa division, and my grandkids.
It's supposed to be more fun then, right?
Well, yeah, the Halloween parties for adults, but I mean, Halloween's on a Friday. I'll be traveling to a locale in the southeast that day, and I don't think I want to. I was fired up until I found out that Halloween was on a Thursday, because I was gonna. Well,
you just said Friday.
It's on a Friday.
Yeah, you just said you're fired up until you found out it was on a Thursday.
Friday.
Okay.
Because I mean, I've got a game on Thursday. I'm traveling on Friday, and I've got a game on Saturday, obviously. So that's the prime Halloween party timing.
I don't think we've done the whole Halloween thing for 3 years in a row because we've had a kids' football game each of the nights the last 3 years. So it happens.
So I was going to be Prince Akeem of Zamunda this year.
You said what?
I was going to be Prince Akeem of Zamunda, coming to America.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying
that was what my costume was.
Mr.
I was fired up.
I
was going to be Prince Akeem of Zamunda.
We've got some football to talk about. Red Raiders won 42-0, but
although you wouldn't feel like it.
It didn't feel like it. I mean,
why?
It felt very much. I think it was a combination of things, but it felt very similar to when you're walking out against Oregon State or when you're walking out against Kent State. It felt like that's the level of football team you were playing. But I also think you just had the wind let out of your sails because you lost Will Hammond for the year. So walking out of that game and not.
And here's the thing. I'm doing my game. I'm in Stark Vegas doing my game, and the game's at the same time, and so I did know that they delayed. They did delay the start a little bit,
about 30-ish minutes.
Yeah. So I knew that we were starting ahead of them. Y'all, us, we,
you people,
and so all I can do is follow the game on the out-of-town score in Davis Wade Stadium. And so I'm following it that way. And, I see it, it's, first it's got, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State delayed, and then I look up there and it says Texas Tech 7, Oklahoma State nothing. And it's like, it says 1450, and I was like, "What?"
Oh yes.
And then I look again.
The
next TV timeout, I look up there again, and it's 14-0 with
10 minutes.
10 minutes to go.
12,
and I'm like,
12
"Wow,
minutes?
okay,
I think it's 12, yeah.
All right, that's a good start. Here we go."
It was a good start. You came out of the gates really hot. It felt like you were playing a bad football team. I mean, that's what it was, and you took care of business. So I don't want to be. I'm not down at all. It just felt like hey, you went through the motions and did what you were supposed to on a Saturday, and we should be celebrating it because it's your first shutout in a conference game in 2 decades.
You know what? I kind of got home when I got after the game. I started looking at the comments and everything, and all I saw was negative comment. You know, offensive line, Will Hammond, Mac left which. I'm looking at this. I was like, do I live in Fansville?
I think our first.
I feel like I live in Fansville, and they're riding outside of McGuire's house, wanting to fire the guy for not winning by enough.
Yeah.
Are we to that point where we're?
I think we've developed into that point where the expectations have shifted to play in the college football playoff. So we should not have Alabama arrogance or anything that comes with that. But I think there are some expectations on this season. And you nitpick when things are going really well. That's what you do. And things have gone really well. You have played 8 football games and had blowouts in 7 of them. So,
and had the lead with 1:36 to go, 26 to go in the other one.
So I
with
think
your backup quarterback on the road in a hostile environment where they almost dropped the goalpost on your receiver.
So I think when right now you kind of walk out of this game still feeling really good about Texas Tech's chances, which you're a 7.5-point favorite this weekend on the road at a place you haven't won at since 2008. But you also know you're one bad hit away from it getting really, really dicey on your quarterback.
I mean, well,
because
this is the reason you spent money on Mitch Griffith. You know, I mean,
I don't think you really spent money on him, but he.
Well, I think you did spend a little money on him.
You got him,
but that's the reason why you got him, and you know, for this type of scenario, you know, because you had to feel like either Will Hammond may not be. He may have the freshman jitters or whatever, may not be as good as he's advertised right off the bat, or heaven forbid an injury, and you get the injury, and and you know, I mean, we like what we've got. I think we still like our quarterback room.
I still like it, but it feels different.
It does feel different, and it should. Anytime somebody of import goes down, it's going to make it different.
Yeah. So I think that's what. Obviously what you get from the weekend, but y'all can get your reactions in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. It is an Overreaction Monday. You can say we're winning them all, or whatever you want to say. It's all welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line.
Get the hot seat out. Get out the hot seat.
We know the next 2 are
cue the billboard.
Massive games for Texas Tech.
Yes.
As you've got to, it feels like win them both to secure your spot in Arlington this year. And give yourself a chance at playing in the college football playoff. So, but we also have news, as we'll highlight in headlines, that you've got an 11 a.m. kickoff on ABC or ESPN against BYU.
And I think the importance of that, you know, was what comes with that if you were to beat Kansas State.
If you win this weekend, I think you've got a really good shot at having game day.
I think game day is coming. And, you know, I mean, it's as they were talking in the previous show, Rob and David, they were talking about the fact, you know, ABC's going to, you know, ESPN's going to put they're going to highlight one of the games they're going to have.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's a Monday afternoon on the Bottom Line. 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. I'll keep your comments coming in. On the Yates Flooring Center chat line, let's see. Start with, well, I'm trying to find where these started. This one, Snead, are you still calling SEC games?
Yes.
Yeah,
I did last week.
Correct.
Had a pretty good one last week.
Could Tech grab an LSU quarterback for a current year if any hit the portal?
No.
Not for this year, unless they haven't played in 4 games to this point.
I don't even think it's then. I don't think you can get someone that played somewhere else. And
No, they can't play this year, but they would still have. No, okay. So maybe I misunderstood.
I think he's trying to see, can you go and make a late season trade and get somebody?
No, you can't add anybody that's played. or
on someone else's roster.
Yeah.
You can't do that. I think you'd have to get a special waiver from the NCAA, and I don't think the NCAA wants to go down that road.
Maybe an unpopular opinion, but the 11 a.m. kick versus BYU sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal for fans.
Yeah, we're not.
But here's what it opens the door to is the potential for college game day.
It's going to suck if you don't get game day.
Yeah,
we'll just put
it will suck if you don't have game day here. You had the potential for a sleepy crowd early.
Now, what happened to Cody Campbell buying us an O-line?
He can't make injuries not happen.
You've got 2 injuries in the last 2 weeks. Davian Carter exited the Arizona State game. Will Jados exited this game.
You grabbed possibly the best offensive lineman in the portal.
I think your
Sampson, and you got some other solid dudes. I mean, he went out and got you. I mean, hey, it's at some point it's on them to perform.
I think your offensive line played average on Saturday, which against Oklahoma State you'd want them to play a lot better. Especially in the running game, you just didn't create space the way you would want to on several plays. I didn't think you were bad in pass pro. I think you gave up 1 sack the whole game. And I don't feel like you dealt with a bunch of pressure.
Yeah.
The Hammond run was on a scramble. The blowing out of a knee was on a scramble. I think offensive line's best game this year.
Utah.
No, I think it was the Kansas game.
Well,
I think they played fine against Utah.
I think they played well in both of those games. I mean, if I were going to make a list of the games, I would probably put those 1 and 2, and maybe I might have 1 and Kansas 2. You might have Kansas 1 and Utah 2. I mean, and neither one of them would be wrong.
Yeah. So, I think you need to find some more rhythm with the offensive line, but I don't think they're playing bad. You just want them to play better. Again, we're nitpicking.
Don't discount the effect of the opponent in this game. Not from the standpoint that Oklahoma State did things to disrupt us. The fact that our guys didn't play with as much intensity in this game. Because, let's face it, did anyone think that Oklahoma State was going to be within 20 points of us in this game? Did anyone walk into this game thinking that we were going to be playing a game in doubt at any point in time in the second half?
Yeah.
I mean, they're 18 to 22-year-old kids. And, they're still, I mean, they're not professionals, even though some of them are getting paid like it. They're not professionals, and they still look over there and say, I can give my C effort and beat these guys. And let's face it, Tech probably gave their C effort and won a game by 42 points, which means they weren't making sure of everything, and they weren't as intense on every play. And
you're playing the majority of that game with your third-string quarterback, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not... Again.
Don't discount the fact that the opponent across the line of scrimmage from you, you're knowing I can, we're not too terribly worried about these guys.
This text, there's another what is wrong with our offensive line text. Another one says, I don't think game day is coming for BYU. They wouldn't want the crowd for the show to dwindle for an 11 a.m. when their show goes till 11 a.m., but for the love of God, Kansas State is next. Okay. Well, we're talking about BYU because the time just came out like an hour ago.
And also, think about this. There will be a lot of fans that go to game day that don't have tickets to the game.
Yeah, there's plenty.
Yeah, I mean, there will be a lot of people.
And by the way, they typically move that indoors.
They sure do.
If they have an 11 a.m. kick for game day, they move it inside the stadium about 30 minutes. 30 minutes or
last
an hour
year,
inside. Yeah.
I had LSU, South Carolina, and they had they did the game day outside, and then they brought the studio part inside.
So 30 minutes, an hour before, they move it in, just like Big Noon Kickoff does.
And there's also like the majority, like when they're at Oregon, the majority of those are students that aren't going into the game.
Yeah. So
they're there for, I mean, they're there to support their team, but they're more there for the college game day, knowing that they're not going to be waiting in line for like the student section.
So I think you're a little off base. Yes, it would make more sense for the 2:30 or later, but they If they have the game day 4 and 11 a.m. kick on their network, they move it indoors.
And let's just face
Common
it,
practice.
Game Day has been doing this for a while. They know the formula. They know how it works. That's why they do that, and they get paid a lot of money to do that. And I don't think anything about the 11 a.m. kickoff. They have done plenty of games. I mean, the game, like I said, the one I did last year was an 11 a.m. kickoff, and they have no problem getting that done.
I took a lot of heat in Facebook groups saying the offensive line got whooped by Oklahoma State defensive line all game. They have got to improve over these next 2 weeks. That's from Mr. B. I'd say got whooped is an overstatement, but hey, it's an overreaction Monday. But I also agree with your other part. They do need to improve over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, that's and I'm not just saying, hey, well, they didn't care about these guys. Yeah, those guys need to play better. You've got to be cohesive and never underestimate how much an injury to the starting five does to the cohesion of them. I mean, those 5 guys have to work as a one. I mean, you can't just say, I can just plug somebody else and it's going to be just perfect. I mean, when you get a guy that is a bona fide starter and a all-conference type of player, and he goes out and the guy comes in behind him, there's a reason why that guy's starting and the other guy's not.
This one says, we're playing at Kansas State after losing the last road game at Arizona State, who lost to Houston. I project a loss this weekend. Do you remember what you did to Houston? You remember that?
Yeah. In their place?
You beat them
on the night?
good on their place.
And they circled you also, by the way.
Listen, the people who, this is where I defer to when I'm wondering if my bias is getting in the way too much. I defer to the people that have a monetary interest that don't give a hoot who wins the football game. They care about making money. And the people out west have Texas. They still believe in your Red Raiders, by the way. They have Texas Tech as a 7.5-point favorite for this game. Texas Tech is still a minus 160 favorite to win the Big 12 championship.
What does that mean?
Today.
What does that mean?
That means you have to bet $160 just to win 100.
Okay.
That Texas Tech's going to win. You are a prohibited heavy favorite to win the Big 12. Again, things
still got to
happen.
play the games.
You still got to play the games.
Yeah.
But those people out there, the experts, so to speak, believe that Texas Tech is not just going to win this weekend, but they're going to win every game on your schedule moving forward.
Yeah.
BYU is the next closest, and it's a 5-1 line for them, meaning you bet $100 and you win 500. Massive difference. So take that for what look. We got to get over the PTSD as Tech fans.
I think there's a lot of sitting around waiting for the other shoe to drop, and this is a different year. This is not 2015. This is not 2010. This is not 1989. This is not 1996. This is a different era of Texas Tech football. And
you know who doesn't give a hoot about your history in this series?
Joey McGuire.
Well, I was going to say, guys that haven't played in this series before.
Exactly.
David Bailey, Lee Hunter, these fellas that have not played a game in this series.
Remember, think about this.
Caleb Douglas.
What was Lee Hunter doing this time last year? Probably getting ready for a Cincinnati game. And David Bailey's probably getting ready for a game against Oregon State.
Yeah.
Stanford, he was a Stanford guy, so he's probably getting ready for a game against Cal.
Yeah.
So I don't think that these guys are all worried about, oh my God, we hadn't won over there since 2008. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Chewing their fingernails. They don't care. They're playing a purple team this week.
One thing that hasn't
beat their tails too.
One thing that hasn't changed: Texas Tech is the best team in the Big 12. You are. You are the best team.
Face mask right there.
You've still got to go win the football game on Saturday.
By the way, that team that lost to Houston wasn't the same team you lost to because they didn't have Jordan Tyson or Sam Levitt for the majority of that game.
That does matter. It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
On to hour number 2. It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Powered by Happy State Bank on TV, Fox 34 News Now, TSportsNetwork.com, YouTube, Fire Stick, Roku. Lots of different ways to take us in. However you're doing so, we are glad that you've made us part of your Monday afternoon. Alongside Jamie Lent, I'm Chois Woodman. Brendan Riker, across the way, taking care of us. you can hit us up if you'd like to. Thoughts, comments, questions. It's an Overreaction Monday. Get yours in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Carry it anywhere with you. Even listen in if you're out at Knife River in North Dakota. A couple of weeks late on that one.
Yes, you are.
My bad. What's up, Jamie? How do you do?
I do well. I'm good to see the Red Raiders back in the win column.
Did you enjoy the beatdown of Oklahoma State like you thought you would?
Did I enjoy it? Yes. Texas Tech won, Oklahoma State lost. I enjoy that.
Okay.
I enjoyed a lot of the game. The kickoff return to get started was phenomenal.
That was fun.
My favorite play was Jacob Rodriguez saying, "Give me this!"
Which, by the way, he is not your Big 12. You got 2 spots now, and he wasn't one of your Big 12 Defensive Players of the Week for some reason.
Well,
he had 10 tackles, I think a TFL, a forced fumble, fumble recovery, and touchdown. I think that's voter fatigue, personally, but
there's probably some of that.
because he's won it multiple times already this year. But that
And
was a fun
deserved it.
play. That was a fun play.
That was a fun play. So there's that. Yeah, so I enjoyed it, yes. I would tell you that I am definitely in the category of nervous for the next 2 weeks.
Fair.
At the same time, I think you're the better team,
Okay.
and I think you should win both. But will you win both? I'm not quite sure. I think the offense just has not looked good for a while now, and I think a massive part of that is because your signal caller has not been in there, and so I'm anxious to see him back in there to see that the offense looks better.
We did get a question. We got a couple questions I want to get to here. One of them was, are we expecting any guys back from injury this week? I would expect Baron Morton back, and I would expect, as we sit on Monday, Terrence Carter to come back too.
That'll help.
I think that helps your offense with 2 of your best offensive players coming back. So, I just walk away from Saturday very happy you won the game, very happy you won it in blowout fashion. I mean, where we are right now is you covered a 38-point spread, and there's still a lot of people complaining about how the game went, or certain parts, and I think that's where you are as a team. You nitpick because you're looking ahead and want to win big games like this next weekend.
If you are nitpicking about the offense, I think it's completely legit.
And that's where I think I've seen majority of the nitpicking. I mean,
but it's fair, right?
I say majority. I don't think I've seen anything on the defense after you pitch the shutout.
But it's fair, right?
Yeah, but I also take into account that you haven't had number 2 back there. So
okay, that's fine. That's fine.
But I think offensive line needs to pick up. I think there's absolutely things to nitpick at, and they're doing the same thing in that building over there, off University. Because if you're not, then then you're fat and happy, and I don't believe that
I
to
don't
be the
know
case.
that I would call nitpicking. I get you won 42-0.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I don't whatever you're criticizing the offense for, I don't know that I would call that nitpicking. I don't feel like the definition fits that.
Okay.
Because I don't think it was a great offensive performance. I think the second half was much better than the first half.
If you look at the number of plays you ran in this game compared to one you normally run, and part of that is because you had a defensive touchdown, a special teams touchdown,
and a one-play 26-yard drive.
And you also ran clock for a whole lot of the game. I think that has to do with it. Plus, again, you're playing with your third-string quarterback for the majority of this game. It's hard. I guess I'm not saying anybody's wrong to criticize or nitpick. it's hard to judge this for what it is how I kind of approach it on the offensive side. It's really hard to get a true feel for it because you didn't have your normal offensive product out there, and you're playing a team that bad. I think there was some flatness to the game. Don't get me wrong. I think
maybe.
I think it felt like there was flatness, and again, opponent considered.
Again, I would say offense. I didn't see any flatness with your defense.
No. You executed exactly how you're supposed to on defense. So, the other question I wanted to get to on the chat line, on a scale, you just mentioned this word. On a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are you for the next two individually? Feel like Morton will be a shot of adrenaline for the offense, somehow more confident about BYU and then Kansas State, but I keep flip-flopping. So 1 of 10, how nervous are you over the next two?
I'm nervous by nature.
Fair.
Okay. But I don't think
that's a new horse name, by the way.
I do think that you should win both games, but I'm nervous for both of them. So I guess I'm in between 50 and 60% confidence level in both games.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
So you would put it a 4 or a 5 on the nervous scale, right? I guess if that's
out
how
of 10.
If you're going out of that.
Yeah, something like that.
I would say mine is probably a 3 or a 4, so slightly under you, but not. I mean, they're two good football teams. Kansas State wasn't a good football team a month ago, but they are right now.
Yeah,
they are. You're still more than a touchdown favorite at the moment on the road, and BYU's at home. So again, you've had kind of a slip up at home each of the last 3 seasons, where it feels like you've let one go that you probably should have won, and a lot of times they're big games too. 2
of them last year, right, with Baylor and
Colorado. The Baylor game,
although Colorado was probably the better football team.
Yeah, I don't walk away from that one feeling like Baylor was definitely a better football team that night, but they got right against you. So yeah, there's some nerves, no doubt, but I also still stand firm in that you're the best team in the Big 12, and if you play like it, then
the nervousness comes from if.
If, yes.
Yep.
But if you play like you have 7 out of 8 games this year, you've had 7 blowouts in 8 games. I'm not predicting a blowout this weekend, but I think you're the better football team. We got all week to talk about K-State. Lots more from you on the chat line. Overreaction Monday, get yours in. We'll get to some of those next on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thrilled to be part of your Monday afternoon. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Choice Jamie Brennan with you this afternoon. We'll return to more of your thoughts. It is Overreaction Monday, so if you got overreactions or regular reactions, we take them all on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Right now, we take a question from Jamie.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
All right, very simple question for you here. 2 games coming up on the road at Kansas State, 1 at home against BYU. 1 team is undefeated. 1 team not undefeated. They're at 3-2 in conference play, just 4-4 overall. Which game are you more nervous about?
The PTSD and Tech fan in me is this weekend.
It can be for a variety of different reasons.
It's that you haven't won a game there since 2008, which I keep preaching to myself. Hey, there's a ton of football players on this team that have never played against Kansas State. They don't know this history. They haven't dealt with it before. So it really shouldn't have an effect. History. Because that's where my nerves are, is history. Because if I'm using my brain, I'll say BYU's the better football team of the two. And that makes more logical sense. But if I'm just going by my own gut nervousness, it's the road trip this weekend.
For me, as far as Kansas State goes, they want this to be a low-scoring game. They do not have the offense that can match your defensive play. Now, if your offense struggles against Kansas State like it has the past couple weeks, it could be a ball game. But your defense can win you that game in Manhattan, even on the road. Your defense came pretty darn close to winning you a game at Arizona State that you probably had no business being in with the way that you played. So I'm more nervous about the BYU game because let's say you do take care of business on against Kansas State. Okay, there's a lot more pressure on you now to win that BYU game. Because if you drop that BYU game, and same thing could be said about Kansas State, but if you can't find a way to win at home against this BYU team, your hopes for the Big 12 championship are close to diminished.
Close to
diminished. So I'm a lot more nervous for that game. I still think this is not a great Kansas State team. They might have caught a stride right now, but you're way better than Kansas State as a football team. You are. And what has happened historically will not dictate the outcome of this game. How you play will dictate the outcome.
Preach it!
You know, I go back and forth, to be honest with you, which shows that I'm nervous about both. As I told you guys before, though, I think you can and should win both.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I think it's BYU. I think not just going on winning on the road at Iowa State, but winning after you were down, what were they down, 17-14 early on in that game,
Something
I think
like
really
that,
showed something to me. And I look at BYU and I forever have said, yeah, but who have they really beat? I look at that one and I think it was an impressive win. I think you are so much more talented than Kansas State. I don't think that Avery Johnson's going to be able to get the run game going for Kansas State, and I don't think he can beat you throwing the football. And so I think that you absolutely should be able to win that game on Saturday. I also think you should be able to win the home game against BYU. And I just find myself more nervous right now about BYU. On Saturday morning, I'll be more nervous about Kansas State.
Of course you are.
Okay, because that's the one that's right in front of me. But right now, I look at these two games, I like, if you win at Kansas State, I'm going to be like, okay, we're out of the woods.
Does the 11 a.m. kick time for BYU factor into that at all? Or is it – because, I mean, it's not a night crowd like we've seen. You've actually done, again, pretty good in 11 a.m. kicks, especially the last couple of years. So maybe that helps. If I'm purely – I feel like if I'm separated from being a Texas Tech fan in this, it's pretty obvious which one I should be nervous about. I don't know that your lines in these games are going to be that different as far as what Vegas says. You're 7.5 right now. I think you'll be somewhat close, probably 6.5 or so against BYU.
Okay, I would have guessed less.
But you also would have guessed less for this K-State game.
True.
Right.
True.
So I think Vegas, when you look at their projection for Big 12 champion, they still have Texas Tech as a heavy favorite. They still believe Texas Tech's the best team in the Big 12. Now, you obviously have to go back this up. But as you've stated today, as we've stated all year, your defense is still literally one of the best defenses in the country, period. And your defense is going to give you a chance to win every single game you're in. Mm-hmm. So to me, it does kind of turn into the offense on Saturday. if you can, I don't know that Kansas State is going to be able to. I don't think they can score much more than 3 touchdowns in this game. I don't. So if you're beyond that, I feel pretty comfortable. If you're in the upper 20s, I feel pretty comfortable about that because Texas Tech's good at stopping the run, and Kansas State lives on running the football.
Mm-hmm.
So who knew I would ever say that phrase? Texas Tech's good at stopping the run, and after some years we've been through in the past. Someone asked, is Terrence Carter back this Saturday? I would anticipate he is. It sure helps give a shot in the arm to the offense if you get a healthy Terrence Carter back. So I'm hoping so. Clay says defense wins championships. Yes, it does.
Who are you, as we sit here today at 1:39 on Monday afternoon, who are you predicting to win Cincinnati at Utah?
Utah. I think Cincinnati is a much, much better football team than I would have guessed, and largely quarterback play is where you credit that. Brendan Sorsby might be the best quarterback in the Big 12. Mm-hmm. He's definitely earned that conversation. I will predict Utah wins that game because it is a tough crowd. You got game day there. There's a lot going on with that. And I don't think where I get nervous about Utah is when they face good defenses, which I think BYU and Texas Tech are the 2 best in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
They get stymied a bit on offense. I don't think Cincinnati's got a good offense. I think they're more middle of the road on defense, though. So that's why I would pick Utah to win. Now, Cincinnati at home against BYU, that's going to be a really interesting matchup here in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. I think Utah looked better this week, partly because Colorado was terrible, but the freshman quarterback that they played was impressive.
Bird Franklin.
Yeah.
That was not expected.
Yeah, he was really good.
So I think it's going to be really interesting. Technically, you have a possibility out there for 4 8-1 teams. That's still on the table. You could have 4 different teams finish 8-1. Which, by the way, did the whole simulator on that thing. Texas Tech would still get through if you have the 4-way tie. Part of it, what a big helper on you is something we didn't think before the season, but you've had one of the toughest Big 12 schedules, and that's what factors into a lot of these tiebreakers because you've had to play Utah and Houston, who's turned out to be a good team, and BYU and Arizona State, and so you've had one of the tougher Big 12 schedules out there. So that's going to help Texas Tech if you run into any of these tie-breaking scenarios.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's a Monday afternoon on the Bottom Line. 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Joyce is no longer thinking about where his snack is.
I found it.
Did you find one?
Got some Reese's Cups. 2 of them, technically.
Well, you did say cups.
Yeah. Well, I was saying, one snack. Does it count as 2 snacks, or it's only 1 if there's 2 cups?
I only count that as 1.
Okay. Then I found 1.
Because one of them is not like a full candy bar.
Touche. He's Jamie. I'm Chois. Brennan across the way. We got jokes. I do.
It's now time for the dad joke of the day.
Hey, Jamie.
Yes, Choice.
I want to give a quick shout out to all the sidewalks out there. Thanks for keeping me off the streets.
It's nice, Choice. It's good.
Hey, Jamie.
Yes, Choice.
You know, I once went to school for magicians.
Oh, really?
But failed the final exam. They were all trick questions. Hey, Jamie.
Yes, Choice.
Just took the family out to a corn maze last weekend.
Nice.
Felt like I was being stalked. It was eerie.
Well, I see this dork
It was Erie. You get it? Because there's lots of ears of corn. Come on, Brennan.
Yes, Tross, I get it.
Good. Someone says, look for Wes Welker on the Washington sideline tonight. Oh, yeah, I forget Wes is there. Think about Cliff Kingsbury, but I forget the Wes Welker appearance. Is he... What role is he in?
Isn't he an offensive specialist or something? I don't think he...
He's not a position coach, right?
I don't think so.
Because he was with the Dolphins as a receiver. So, yeah. You got it. Personnel analyst.
Okay.
That's basically the coaching way of saying, hey, we don't have an opening, but we're going to stash you here.
Yeah.
And we think you can bring us something.
Mm-hmm.
So, does Tech have the tiebreaker over Cincinnati? The head-to-head, you obviously don't play them. There's someone created this tiebreaker thing. They punched in all the tie-breaking scenarios for the Big 12, where you can basically click every single game there, and it'll give you the scenarios and the why if a team wins or if they finish in a certain spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe you have a lot of tie breaks over Cincinnati, again, because of difficulty of record. Since he hasn't played a tough schedule really at all until these next couple of weeks.
Right.
That's when theirs gets tough. But you look at the teams Texas Tech has played in Big 12 play outside of Oklahoma State, you've had a pretty tough schedule overall. You've got one 500 team in there with Kansas State. You got Arizona State that was tougher before this weekend. Utah's been good. BYU will be good when you play them. K-State's another 500 team. But largely, I think you've played and will play, when all the dust settles, one team that's under 500, and that's Oklahoma State in Big 12 play. Because other teams are pretty good. So
your schedule has definitely been tougher.
Yeah, tie breaks, I mean, it's something we really don't need to worry about until after you beat BYU and see where the dust settles, but I'm the same way. I start to look into that stuff now. Okay, legit question. This is looking way ahead. But you win out. You play whoever in the Big 12 title game. Now we're nervous about BYU at home. How do you honestly think we'd fare in the playoffs? Are we setting up just to get smoked when we get there?
I don't feel that way at all. I feel like if you are able to win out, again, tough schedule, one of the tougher ones in the Big 12 conference, right?
Yep.
Definitely not tough in the non-con, but definitely tough in Big 12 play. If you're able to win at Kansas State and exercise those demons, if you're able to take down an undefeated BYU team at home and then handle your business against the two at the end that you should also win, man, that's a really impressive season. And truth of the matter is, you got to believe if Morton hadn't gotten healthy and was there for Arizona State, you would have won that game too. So I don't look at it. I mean, I think you are going to be legitimately inside probably the top 8 or below, maybe the 5 to 8 range if you win out.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm not saying that, oh man, these people don't know what the Red Raiders got for them. We're going to put it up. No, I'm not saying that. But I don't think you're, like a group of 5 team that's in there. I think you got a legitimate shot.
Yeah.
To win. I'm not saying I'm not predicting you to win a national championship, but at the very least to win that first round and get to the second round.
There's not a team in the country you can't beat. There's not. There's years where you say, okay, you're not beating them if you face them. I'm not saying that you're a favorite or you're going to win every game or anything like that, Jamie, but do you think there's a team that you've seen this year in college football that you cannot beat?
Yeah, I don't know. Those teams at the top look pretty dang good, but, I mean, when you're clicking and you're playing great, the fourth quarter against Utah, It felt like you could beat anybody in the country that quarter.
Yeah, but I also, again, your average margin in Big 12 play is gaudy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're killing teams. The deal is, even those top teams in the country, several of them have a loss at this point. Several of them have slipped up. They've also done what you've done. So, if you're 5-8 and you're hosting, I feel good about you hosting. Even if you hosted a Notre Dame who's playing good football right now, or whoever that is, I don't think that I would be nervous about getting blown out in the college football playoff, unless, again, you lose your quarterback along the way. There's some things that can factor in, but when your team is playing at or near its best, you're up there with the best teams in the country.
Yeah, I agree.
I think, again, a lot of.
But the key is to get them playing their best.
Yeah, I don't
with
think
their best players on the field and healthy.
You haven't looked at the last 2 weeks and said, okay, this is the team that's going to go win the playoffs, or going to go win a lot of games in the playoffs, or make a national title push. But I don't think that team is in the past. I don't think you're past that team. I think you will still be able to see that team again on Saturday, hopefully. Were you all surprised with how little trouble Utah had with Colorado?
Rob and I were just talking about it a minute ago, and he said, did you see the availability list for Colorado? To which I explained to him that I have a life.
Whoa! That's
yes.
kind of a shot towards Rob, right? That was rude.
No, that was just a shot and for what reason would I be spending time looking at Colorado's availability report? Anyway, He said that Colorado was missing like 20 guys.
So we're just like waving the white flag against Utah?
I have no idea.
Who cares? We'll move to the next game.
I saw a video online, and I don't know what I think of this. I guess it's part of the stuff from Dion that I kind of like, okay, I respect that.
Okay.
But like there's a group of guys on the team that he feels like they're most likely going to be transfers heading into next year, portal guys.
Yeah.
Whether that's guys that are unhappy with their playing time or guys that are not getting much playing time. Anyway, and so they put scrimmages together and break down the film for these guys so they can help them do better in the portal, find a better spot in the portal. So they like allow these guys to play games, and then they have their film guys break it down and make highlight reels for these guys so they can send it to other schools for them. I mean, I give Dion credit there. He's thinking about his players.
I think that's absolutely a positive.
Now, Dion's not out there doing it himself, but...
Nobody sets it up for him.
Yeah, sure. He's at least allowing it to happen.
I think it feels like for every stupid thing Dion or one of his people do, he does.
I don't know what I would think about that if we were doing that here, though. Like, why are we bending over backwards to help these kids that want to leave?
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's a Monday afternoon with the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Chois Woodman, Jamie Lent, yours from the First United Bank studio. Brennan Riker, also across the way, taking care of us. You can keep hitting us up. We appreciate all the reactions on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Keep those comments coming in there. Take that mobile app anywhere with you, even if you're out in Murderers Creek, Oregon. So, one thing we haven't talked about a ton, but definitely is kind of the cloud hanging over Saturday, is your backup quarterback is no longer your backup quarterback this season because he's out for the season. Pete Thamel reported it yesterday that Hammond, when he exited the game, tore his ACL. I guess he tore his ACL in the game. It wasn't when he was exiting the game, but
boy, that'd be worse.
That'd be a lot worse.
I gotta tell you, I was a little bit worried after. I don't. It may be a little bit more difficult to see if you're in the stands or if you're watching on television. If you're up high, like we are, or if you are sit higher in the stands, it might have been easy to see. On the touchdown pass where Griffiths just laid it out there and Caleb Douglas ran underneath it for the touchdown. Okay, so Griffiths, I mean, this dude's got so much energy. It's so much fun.
It is fun to watch.
Okay, so...
This is a guy that was out of football a couple of years ago, too.
So he runs... Trying to remember this. He runs over... No. I think he ran and celebrated with the team on the field first.
Okay.
And then comes running back over, and Barron booked it down the sideline, and those two give it like a high chest bump. They're jumping into each other and chest bumping. Which at this point, and then Barron's landing awkwardly, and I'm like, that dude's ready to play. Okay? He can play. If he handled that, he can play. Because he landed on one leg and all this. So I'm like, okay, looks good to me. Yep. I feel confident he's going to play next week. Right. Anyway, so Griffiths runs down, celebrates with his team that they just scored the touchdown, then runs over to the sideline, chest bumps Barron, turns back around, runs over all the way to the left hash on the east side of the field. Like, I don't know where he's going at this point. He's just running.
He's just sprinting around.
He is just running. Like, I'm like, are we going for two here? Before finally he curled back around and then went back to the west sideline to get off the field.
He's got some pent-up energy,
like,
Jamie.
Where are you going, dude? But I'm loving it. It was so funny. Yeah. He was so energized.
Look, the coaches told us before the season, we've got 3 guys that can win Big 12 games. That's what they told us before the season. Sometimes there's coach speak. I hope we don't have to find out. I really do. Nothing against Mitch Griffiths, because I'm with you. He was a fiery, fun guy to watch.
Does he have more eligibility left?
He has one more year.
One more year left.
He has one more year. So, because, I mean, truthfully, the bad thing about I guess maybe worst thing about Hammond and his injury, the timing of it, ACLs are a minimum 9-month injury.
Yeah, 9 to 12-ish.
Yep. So minimum 9, which puts it July. Puts it July for him to come back. Mm-hmm. It's through spring, through everything. It doesn't mean that you're getting him back at that point. You've got to have an insurance policy. Like you said earlier, that I would be shocked if Texas Tech is not hitting the portal for a quarterback this offseason. And a starting quarterback. You're not just going unless they feel like Mitch Griffiths is going to be your leader, which I no offense, maybe we learn between now and then, but as we sit right now, I don't think you're banking on that. So I hate it for Will Hammond. I hate it for Texas Tech because you've had to use Will Hammond a whole lot this year. Mm-hmm. My hope, and hope is not a strategy, but my hope is that Baron Morton can stay upright and healthy all the way through the college football playoff moving on here. We'll see. But he started games at Wake Forest. He started at the Power 4 level. So Mitch Griffiths, it's not like he's just some schmuck off the street. He's come from something. And he's been able to...
He kind of is a schmuck off the street. I mean, he was pouring concrete.
He was. Is that what it was? I don't remember the
I think he was doing concrete work or whatever. I don't mean that as a negative thing, but he was like.
He was literally, yeah.
He was like working.
We get these stories.
He had a real job.
The Kurt Warner of the. What was he sacking groceries? Yeah.
Yeah, at least
I don't know. You know what?
At least Mitch was doing something manly.
If Mitch Griffiths wants to turn it into some superstar story, I'm all for it.
Man, he was great. The press conference afterwards was phenomenal. I mean, just looks like a guy who really appreciates the opportunity that he's getting. Looks like if you see him on the sideline and how he interacts with his teammates, looks like a guy that's happy. I'm not saying I don't want to play. I'm happy over here wearing a ball cap backwards kind of deal guy. I mean, I think he wants to play and all that, but he's also loves being supportive of his teammates, and looks like that quarterback room is pretty close and tight, and they're all happy for each other, and that's great. That's great to see.
It is. So, don't know what's going to happen moving forward. but I just know that Barron-Moore has to stay healthy. It's as simple as that. If you want your dreams to be realized, whatever those may be, Big 12 championship, college football playoff, beyond, number 2 needs to be healthy because your insurance policy of Will Hammond is gone. Scott says Tech best defensive day keeps you competitive against any of the team's best offensive day this year, in my opinion. Another one says Mitch Griffiths was a very pleasant surprise. Loved seeing his enthusiasm, and he wasn't out of football a few years ago. It was just last year. He was pouring concrete this time last year. Thank you.
Yeah, one year.
Sorry, I wasn't certain on the whole story. I knew he had been out. And that's apparently Mac Leftwich is the one the credit for that find. He knew. He went after him, and he's like, hey, you still got eligibility. We've got a spot for you.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're pretty good.
We're pretty good. We're going to be good this year.
Mm-hmm. We got awesome school colors.
That's true. Better than
we got an awesome
gold
stadium.
And black. I mean,
terrific fan base. And we pay well.
I bet he didn't have to recruit too hard.
All of those things.
Hey, you could keep pouring concrete, or you can come hang out in our quarterback room here.
Mm-hmm. True.
And unfortunately, you have to play. But
you get some free gear too.
Man.
Yeah.
It's not Under Armour, so he couldn't recruit that well on that, right?
He's make do with what he's got.
Choice.
I thought the uniform combo this weekend. I think that's my favorite one.
You like the white, red, white? It's really a good look.
Yeah, I really
like it. Choice. I don't think you can say Tech's the best in the Big 12 or the team to beat an SEC school. Their offense isn't that strong, and they just recently lost to Arizona State 26-22.
Did you see some of the SEC games this weekend?
I did.
At one point, Missouri and Vanderbilt was a 3-3 game.
Yeah. Look, you can play SEC hypotheticals. Maybe you're our SEC guy. I don't know. You could play that game all you want. You can sit here and say Tech's not the best in the Big 12. I'll defer to the people in Vegas who say Tech is the best in the Big 12. And the majority of the results this year. Yes, you had a misstep this year, as have plenty of these SEC teams that you're fawning over.
Well, here's the deal. You're going to find out real quick.
We get to learn. That's the great thing about sports.
Next 2 weeks are going to tell you a lot.
And I believe Texas Tech will back up my words.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.